Good morning, everybody, and welcome to What's Hot on the Open. My name is Joseph Cusick from the Cusick Group, securities offered by MoneyBlock. Well, MarketStream.live is back after the Thanksgiving holiday. I hope that all of you that are watching did have a wonderful Thanksgiving season. And we see that the festivities of Thanksgiving are coming to an end with the final Thanksgiving sale, which is the all-important Cyber Monday. Now, this is the online crazy day for shopping, and it will end the Thanksgiving sales. Many metrics that have come back from the in-store holiday season sale for this Thanksgiving weekend with Black Friday and over the weekend were relatively positive. As a matter of fact, the emphasis of the report said that the activity in the stores did not fall as short as what most analysts were expecting. They saw decent foot traffic, and they also saw that people were actually going into the stores and utilizing their handheld devices for price checking and so forth. So it was a very interesting weekend and a positive weekend for the traditional retailers. Now we're going to see how the online retailers do with Cyber Monday. Now, you can keep an eye on the XRT, which is the retail ETF, as well as the XLY, which is the consumer discretionary ETF. The last 3 months, both these ETFs have been on a tear to the upside. We'll see if that action continues, and as we start to see the metrics of names like Amazon and Apple and so forth, you start to hear how their traffic is looking. As busy as it's been in the stores over the last few sessions, it isn't so busy today in the markets. As a matter of fact, the Dow Jones is down about 0.3% at 19,087. The Russell 2000 futures, the small caps, the higher beta stocks, down about 1/10, almost a little over, almost about 1.5, about 0.1% at 1345.20. You have the Nasdaq down a little over 0.1% at 4860.25, and you have the S&P futures down about 0.25% at 2205.75. So still holding over that psychological 2200 level. Now, as you could see, the markets are a little bit mixed, waffling right around break even to slightly in the red, and that makes some sense for two reasons. One is that it's been an impressive run since the November 8th elections. There could be some profit taking. You're also seeing that the headlines now that are focused on the retail segment showing some positive nature about how this holiday shopping season is going. Now, with the moves that we've seen, could be, again, some profit taking. But there are some other headline catalysts for the moves that we're seeing, not only here in the United States, but you can also see Europe and Asia, which we talked about in the overnight action. There's uncertainty about the OPEC meeting that should be wrapping up right around this Wednesday, whether or not they're going to do some sort of production caps. You also see that there is overall weakness in Europe. We talked about that in the overnight action report this morning at 8:30 Eastern time. You can go check that recording out on the MarketStream.live website. But there is a referendum that's in front of the Italian voters right now, scheduled to go off on Saturday, December 4th. That referendum is really to pull back some of the powers of their current Senate. So there is some uncertainty on how that outcome will impact not only Italy, but will this start to resonate within the other European bourses, which right now have elections in France that are coming up in 2017 and also in Germany. There's also some activity by the Green Party. Here in the United States, they're going to have a potential recount in Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. We're right back at it. Feels like the old Chad incident in 2000. So that has had some uncertainty on the markets, has been laying out there. And, you know, really the one that's going to be grabbing the headlines for the next few days is going to be the whole OPEC meeting. We did see that earlier prices in oil were trading in that $45 level as we saw that the Iranians, the Iraqis, and other nations were uncertain whether or not they were going to follow with the proposed production cuts that came from their initial meeting last week. it looks like the headlines now have seesawed, and we actually see that Iran, Iraq, and others that were a little bit on the sidelines may actually fall in line with the concessions. Now, you're going to see headlines continue to come out. Oil's going to be volatile, but right now you have West Texas crude contract trading up about 2.3% at 47.13, so it's rebounded quite a bit, even off of the morning lows. But we're uncertain whether or not we're even going to get an announcement on Wednesday. So oil and crude should be very volatile up to and through that meeting result, if we actually get one. Now, there is no economic reports that are notable today, so nothing that's really hot happening over this new Monday morning trade session. But we do see that treasuries have attracted some bargain hunting. As a matter of fact, the 10-year yield is now down about 4 basis points, trading at around 2.32%. We've also seen that occurring in some of the European bond markets. One of the most notable is the German 10-year Bund, which is the closest to our 10-year bond here in the United States. That was down about 6 basis points to about 0.19%. So you can see that the yields are starting to drop. Maybe some bargain hunting, some safety trade with this uncertain action that's coming, as well as the headline risk that could be potentially out there. The other thing that we have to be aware of, we're in the last 3 days of November. That means that we could get what's called chase for returns or some window dressing by portfolio managers. Overall, I think that the market looks short-term overbought, and you do have a lagging tech sector. So a natural pullback here after taking some profits, some lagging by some major offensive sectors like the tech sector. This could basically get you into a position where you are looking to either have some sort of swing trade to take advantage of some pullback, whether it's in a volatility product, whether it's selling calls against some holdings, or you could actually be putting some bearish positions on something like the small caps that have been extremely hot, up about 12.5% since the November 8th election. Again, you'll have to look at your portfolio, look at how much risk you foresee out on the horizon, and always keep on top of all of this with MarketStream.live. So with that being said, we will be back at 1:30 Eastern Time for Strategy Now. We're going to be covering all the market action so far into the midday, and we will talk about those strategies, those techniques and tactics that you can utilize for potentially hedging and see what's going on with the overall markets at that point. All right, folks, thanks for joining us for What's Hot on the Open. Till 1:30 Eastern Time, have a great rest of the trading day. Take care.